welcome back to The Secret Health Hack with Ashlee Thomas, proudly supported by The Secret Burden. Now this week we are diving into dried fruit. Now, is it good? Is it bad? Does it have too much sugar? Is it drying? Is drying fruit just bad for you? Or is it a fad? Well, let's kind of have a look at this because we did mention fruit a couple of weeks ago, and once again the talk about fruit is all about the sugar and people being concerned that fruit has too much sugar. So I think dried fruit slips into this category again. So firstly, let's look at the process. How do we dry fruit? So fruit is dried by basically just dehydrating it, taking the moisture out of the fruit, so the water, and whether that's by using a dehydrator, using an oven, or simply just basically drying fruit and leaving it to dry over a long period of time. These processes that I've explained are all natural though, so they are done. You can do them at home, you can do them with friends. You need minimal equipment to dehydrate fruit for the purposes of the examples that I have just suggested. However, you can purchase dried fruit in packets, shops, slices, and as snacks in alternate stores, etc., which is where we will talk a little bit about later that can be a little bit different and shouldn't be compared as much. So dried fruit has been criticised for several reasons, but the main reason is because it has been suggested that dry fruit is high in natural sugar and calories. Coming back to the conversation we've had previously on this show, that fruit is basically just contains sugar, and people see that as a big no-no. But we definitely hacked that a couple of weeks ago because it is natural sugar. So why should we hack this? And honestly, the conversation and the argument is almost exactly the same. The argument suggests that we shouldn't consume dry fruit. So this is the argument against dry fruit because the water has been removed from dry fruit, meaning all the sugar and calories is in a much smaller package. Healthline suggests for this reason, dry fruit is very high in calories and sugar and gets a bad rap. And this is where the conversation starts. However, Harvard research suggests it isn't all that bad. Dried fruit still contains all the necessary nutrients and minerals we need from fruit. So even taking out the water and dehydrating it, it still has all the nutrients we need. It still has micronutrients, fiber, antioxidants, and it is just a highly nutritious, natural form of vitamins that we require daily as a part of our diet of survival. The dehydration process is natural as well, once again, with the options that I suggested earlier. So there is no need to fear dried fruit, especially if it is done from home and from homemade sources. Another concern, which I said we were going to touch on, is when we start buying dried fruit. So nutritionists suggest to read labels for added sugar and artificial enhancers in each product of dry fruit because it could contain added artificial and unnatural sugars and more calories to make it have a longer shelf life, which we know with a lot of products out there. So dried fruit does not get away from this. Even if you buy that packet from Coles where it's a packet of dried apricot or a packet of dried apple slices, to make it have a longer shelf life, they will add artificial sugars and unnatural things into it to make it more sustainable. So if you want to try dried fruit, if you want to eat it, try to stick to home making it or buying the natural products of it. So once again, just get to checking labels and that. But if that's too stressful for you, by all means, don't do it. I mean, I'm not the type of person that does that. If I feel like dried fruit, I'll try it. Sorry, Stuart, hopefully you can cut that out. I just choked on my own saliva. If you want to purchase dry fruit, then go ahead and purchase it. And if you want to make it at home, go ahead and home make it. If you don't feel like doing it, go out and buy it. Like, it doesn't matter. But if you want to look at the facts and health hacking it, then they go for the whole product, the homemade product. And lastly, like always, balance, people. It's great to mix it up. So have dried fruit and then whole fruit and then a smoothie or a juice with fruit in it. At the end of the day, it's fruit. There are going to be different ways to consume it, to cook it, to mix it up. All foods follow a similar concept. I mean, we can look at anything in life. You can cook vegetables in a microwave, you can cook it on a stove, you can cook them in an oven, you can eat them raw. It's like fruit. There's different ways to make it and to consume it, and that's okay. So it's just about balance and mixing it up. Have fun with it though. I recommend giving home dehydrating a go. I have tried it. It's actually really fun, and I find it actually better tasting. So if you've got the time, give it a go. But if you don't feel like doing it, go out and buy a packet. And if you don't feel like reading the label, then don't. It's completely up to you. So keep your food, fruit, and everything in between. Just have fun. That's it from me today. Have a great Monday, and I will catch you all next week.
Secret Health Hacks provides a perspective to health information and is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice. Always seek the guidance of your doctor or other qualified health professionals with any questions you may have regarding your health or medical condition.